Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Rewind That. It's your girl Miss K. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. I do hope you consider hitting that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Alright guys, today we're going to be going over the latest episode of The Chi. Episode number 7 of season 3 called The Stain. All right, I do have a lot to say about this episode, so let's get into it, okay? So the episode starts off with Ronnie at a bar and he's giving a speech about Miss Ethel. So it was basically her memorial because she didn't want a funeral. So Ronnie tells everyone that he's going to make Miss Ethel proud by becoming the man she raised him to be. And my first thought was, you can start by putting the liquor down for good, okay, bruh? Then Jada comes and confirms my thought by also telling Ronnie that he needs to stop drinking. So Ronnie tells her that people drink all the time at funerals. And Jada says, well, you got a drinking problem, so maybe you should drink something else. Anyway, she tells Ronnie that she has to go and she wishes him the best. And she didn't even give my man a hug. Sheesh. I guess she's really not over him coming to her house drunk that time, right? When they were trying to date or whatever. But he did apologize for that. And she don't seem like she really cared too much because, you know, she's dating Tomas now. So whatever. Next, Keisha is laying wide awake in the bed with Omari. And she looks straight traumatized, okay? So Omari rolls over and says, why did you let me oversleep? Then he says, well, I can't blame you because we've had a long night. So the question I had about what he was doing with Keisha last week was finally answered, okay? Because we see here that he's been raping her, okay? It wasn't clear to me before because I thought he just like was some real creep that had her there like washing her up and I don't know, called himself saving her, brushing her hair, you know, all this crap. But it was crystal clear that he is also there to have her as his sex slave, which is totally disgusting. I was just real disgusted with this scene. Anyway, next, Emmett and Dom talk with the owner of Sonny's establishment, and Emmett proposes that they evict Sonny. So we just gonna stop right here, okay, and talk about how grimy this is, all right? This is a cutthroat move that Emmett is making. Another thing is he's trying to be successful off of someone else's hard work. All right. Sonny put years into this restaurant, and to have an ungrateful kid like Emmett make a Judas move like this is messed up. But the owner of the establishment tells them that he can't evict Sonny because he doesn't want that on his conscience. And the crazy thing is that Emmett tells the owner that Sonny is like an uncle to him, okay? And that he's always been there for him when he needed him. And when he was broke, he gave him money, you know, all this stuff. Yet he turns around and does this. And it doesn't make any sense. It's like, why even bring that up, Emmett? You sound stupid. Anyway, so this definitely shows that Tiff is going to have a problem with this dude being loyal, okay? Because he is not loyal to anyone, period. All right. But anyway, before they leave, Dawn gives the owner guy, I don't know his name, right? She gives him a piece of cake and we know how that turns out. OK, next, Jake comes down for breakfast only to tell Douda that he wasn't hungry. So Douda was like, OK, don't eat then. Now, you know, a real parent would have been like, boy, you better put something in your stomach before you go to school. Anyway, Douda tells Jake and Rose that he wants them to be at his side at this dinner party tomorrow night. So Jake says, I ain't no prop. And Douda grabs him up and says, who you think you talking to? So Jake says, what you gonna do? Hit me? Go ahead. I'm sure it won't be the best look for you if I'm walking around with a black eye, now would it? So Douda calms down and lets him go. And Jake says, I ain't think so. And I was laughing because Douda was looking at Jake like, what the heck done got into this little Negro? But we already know, right? Jake done lost all respect for Douda after finding out through Trig that Douda was behind killing Reg. Next, Nina is in Keisha's room packing her things up, and Dre is there with her as well. So Nina says, I can't do this. I changed my mind. So Dre says, if it's too hard, I can handle it. And Nina was like, I don't want you to handle it. I don't want to pack up her stuff. Like, what don't you understand? Anyway, Dre says, I'm not giving up hope. And Nina says, I can't tell. And she walks out. Next, Jada invites Tomas into her place for some TLC, but when she gets inside, she sees Emmett and Tiff home with this big old mess, right? And EJ is running around with her wig, and Jada just got pissed. Anyway, as annoyed as she was, she introduced them to Tomas, then walks him back out the door. So Tomas was like, "What are you doing?" And she says, I know. They're going to be out by the end of the month. And Tomas says, "Are they? Because they look pretty comfy to me." And okay, first of all, Tomas ain't got no place speaking on this, okay? Him and Jada's relationship is too fresh for him to have a say, all right? And it's not like he's paying Jada's rent. So to me, he's overstepping right now. Now, does he have a point? Yes. Emmett definitely needs to get his stuff together, but not many of us had it all together by Emmett's age. Now, have we? Anyway, Jada tells Tomas that she don't need him telling her how to handle her son. She tells him that she knows that she's a crutch for Emmett, but she's not about to have her grandson living on the street. But Tomas tells her that people think they could walk all over her because she lets them, and that he just wants her to put herself first sometimes. So she goes back inside and tells Emmett and Tiff off, okay? She let them know that they get on her nerves, and if they're going to be living there rent-free, the least they could do is clean up. She also tells them that she'll be a happy camper when they move out of her house next week. But Emmett bursts her bubble real quick and tells her they need to stay longer because he lost his job. So Jada was even more pissed and was like, "Negro, I am so over you." And then she was like, "Girl, move. I am done with the both of y'all." You know, Jada is normally, she's cool. You know what I'm saying? Yes, she puts her foot down with Emmett sometimes, especially that time when she moved out of that 2-bedroom apartment. Like, listen, I don't know what you're going to do with yourself, but you're going to have to find yourself somewhere to go because I'm moving into a 1-bedroom apartment. And she left. So now Emmett needed a place to stay with his family and everything, and she let them in. But it's just like right now she's just pissed. Like, listen, I'm trying to get my groove back. I want to come home and do a little something with my man, and here y'all go jacking stuff up. So she was pissed off and she let them know about it. Anyway, next, Ronnie sits at the bar with his friends and he lets them know that he's going to try to sober up again for the 14th time. So the guys tell him that Ronnie should go with them to Springfield where they could hook him up with a job with benefits. But Ronnie tells them that he has something he needs to do here first, and we all know what that is, right? Next, while Creep Squad goes upstairs to get breakfast for Keisha, she plans an escape, but fails miserably. She needed to hit Omari over the head a little harder, okay? And notice she wasn't in chains this time because he bolted the doors up. Next, for some reason, Rose figures out that Jake knows or think he knows that Douda killed Reg. So Rose tells Douda that if Jake finds out that Douda killed his brother, he might wake up to a knife at his throat. And Douda says he ain't that bold. But the look on his face let me know that he wasn't going to sleep on that idea. Next, Nina goes into Keisha's room to find Dre packing Keisha's stuff. And Nina was like, "What are you doing? I told you I wasn't ready for this." So Dre says, "We're never going to be ready and we can't do this forever." And Nina says, "I can." Nina tells Dre that she's not giving up on Keisha until they bring her Keisha's body. So Dre says, "It's been 2 months." And Nina says, "Exactly. So why are you in such a rush to move on?" So Dre says, "I just think we need to start the grieving process." And that set Nina off, okay? And she was like, "Oh no, you gotta go. Get out." And at first, I thought she was just telling Dre to leave Keisha's room, but she said, "Get out of my house." I was like, ooh, Nina is pissed, okay? So Dre says, "I'm not going anywhere because this is my house too. We're a family. We got to figure out what's best for all of us." And Nina said, "For all of us or for you?" So Nina goes into their bedroom and starts packing Dre's things. She tells her that she could take the wedding pictures, but make sure she don't make a mistake and take none of her stuff. Nina also takes off her wedding ring and tells Dre that Keisha never likes her anyway. Nina says, "You so eager to pack everything up, then get out. Pack yourself right on up out of here, okay?" So, look, guys, we have another situation where a character has overstepped their boundaries. Tomas did it with Jada. Now Dre is doing it with Nina. And I ain't mad at all for how Nina is handling this situation. How is this woman going to rush Nina into a grieving process? And on top of that, have her packing her daughter's stuff. It's crazy. I don't understand what Dre is doing here. But to me, it's cold and it's heartless. Another thing is, I was reading some comments about this clip last week on the Showtime YouTube channel. And somebody said that Dre was doing this because she's not a mother and she doesn't understand. Then another person commented that you don't have to be a mother to see that it's dead wrong what Dre was doing. And I agree with both those comments, you know. One, Dre isn't a mother, so she doesn't fully understand even though she swears she does. And two, she doesn't need to be a mother to have compassion for what her wife is going through. Also, many other people were looking at Dre sideways for this and went back to thinking she had something to do with Keisha's kidnapping. And I don't know about that, but she had me looking at her sideways too, because this was out of pocket. But you know, time will tell. Next, Ronnie says goodbye to his friends, and he seemed a little sad because these are pretty much the only friends he has in town, you know? So before they leave, they turn the radio on, and September was playing, and they were bopping their heads and grooving as they drove off. And Ronnie was just dancing in the street, getting down, okay? And I don't know, guys. I kind of felt this scene right here. I kind of felt like it was a joyful moment for Ronnie, and I was happy for him. But that joy seemed to come to an end real quick when he turned around and he saw Jason's mural. All right, so maybe it was like a reminder that he has to do some good, you know? I don't know. Anyway, next we see that Omari took everything out of Keisha's room, okay? Totally emptied it. So now she has no way to try to escape using anything. The only thing he left plugged up was his camera. So we see that because of this, Keisha has contemplated suicide. Next, Gemma tells Kevin to stop being so cold to her. He tells her to leave him alone, and she says fine. So Kev wasn't too happy with her quick response and was like, wow. And he tried to walk away. So I guess he expected her to kiss his butt, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, Gemma, she grabs his hand and she says, do you want to come over? And I'm like, of course you want to come over, Gemma. Anyway, so they're at her house and they get ready to get it on. But Gemma's father comes in and he tells Kev to come with him. And I was kind of glad too, because I just feel like they're so innocent. I know kids are having sex at that age. I do know that. But I was glad the father came in to stop it. Next, Ronnie is back in Omari's neighborhood and he's knocking on doors, asking people if they've heard screaming. So this lady who was looking out her window tells him that nobody in the neighborhood is going to help him. But when Ronnie asks her about Omari, who lives across the street from her, she tells Ronnie that Omari is a bit touched in the head. Ronnie says, what about his wife? And she was like, he ain't got no wife. So that's all Ronnie needed to know right there. So he immediately goes across the street to Omari's house and finds something to help him break the door in. When he gets inside, he calls Keisha's name and she yells back, I'm here, help. And she starts banging on the door. So Ronnie goes down there and breaks the door in, right? But Keisha wasn't too sure about him either. But when Omari came down to stop Ronnie from helping her, Keisha didn't hesitate to jump on him, all right? So they tag teamed him. And I think Keisha killed him. Well, actually, I know she killed him now because I saw the preview for next week's episode and we see that Omari is dead. And honestly, guys, I feel like he needed to stay alive so he could feel some consequences, okay? Death is just too easy. He needs to pay. But it's too late now, right? Anyway, the lady across the street probably called 911 because Keisha and Ronnie were both taken to the hospital. Next, while Kevin is getting pressed by Gemma's father, he gets a call, most likely from his mom, and it's about Keisha. So Kev runs out of there quick, okay? So when Kev gets to the hospital, I was excited for this emotional reunion, but all we got was this right here. There was no running and hugging her daughter or nothing like that. Like, even if she couldn't hug her tight, I would have liked to see Nina rush to her daughter, just being so happy to see her. You know, that's just me. And Kevin didn't run to her either. I guess everybody was just being super careful. I don't know. Maybe it's also the way Keisha acted when she saw them. Maybe she wasn't like all excited or happy to see them. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, instead of what I wanted the reunion to be, what we got was an awkward moment of a mother who was devastated about her daughter's disappearance, but now seemed as if she was hesitant or not sure if she could hug her or touch her. You know what I mean? It took Nina a while before she finally hugged Keisha. So for me, this moment wasn't satisfying enough, but that's just me, like I said. But I'm glad that Keisha's back home and she's safe. We also saw that Keisha extended her hand to Dre, so that was nice as well. So before we move on, I do want to say that Keisha is safe, guys, but she's not okay. All right, I'm pretty sure she's going to suffer from PTSD, and that might bring about some more challenges to the family. Next, at the dinner party, Gemma's father decides to back Douda, leaving Camille feeling salty. Now, she definitely lets them know that they can't push her out and she will rise like a phoenix. So as we saw from last week, Camille plays dirty, okay? So I'm expecting her to cook up some more chaos for Douda. Next, the owner of Sonny's comes in and tells Emmett and Dom that the catering event was so successful that he decided to let them rent out Sonny's for a few months. So I guess this means Sonny will be evicted, right? Anyway, when Emmett asks the owner why he's only letting them rent for a few months, he tells Emmett that he needs to see consistency before he's all in. And before that, he let Emmett know that he always looked at Emmett as a screw up. Anyway, so, Emmett and Dom are excited about this news, right? They hug, and Dom quickly comes on to Emmett, and he did not fight it for 1 second, okay? So y'all know what happens. The psychic predicted it, and so did we, because Emmett is too much like his trifling daddy. Anyway, I love Emmett's character, guys, but I ain't feeling what he did to Sonny, and quite frankly, I hope he fails. I'm tired of him trying to ride somebody else's wave. Like last season, he jumped in on Brandon's business, to sell the little weave or whatever he was doing outside the truck, which was, was fine. But then all of a sudden now he kind of went all in with the food thing with Brandon. And I know he brought stuff to the table as well, but he just always seems to be riding someone else's wave. And to me, he needs to grab a hold of something that he alone is passionate about and start from the ground up so he can truly appreciate hard work and sacrifice. He over there talking about, I'm trying to build a legacy for my son. So you trying to build a legacy for him off of somebody else's blood, sweat, and tears? Like, I'm not cool with that. You know what I'm saying? You sound like a freaking colonizer. He need to get his crabs in a barrel behind the heck up out of here, okay? Because I am totally against this right here. Totally against it. Anyway, next, Papa gets his dad to raise money for Maisha's family because her mother lost her job, and Maisha has to stay home to babysit her siblings, which means she has to miss school. Now, this is really sad because this isn't the first time Maisha has missed school because of this, right? Because she had to babysit. And the girl is so smart and she aspires to go to college and make something of herself, move out the hood and all that. And this makes it even sadder. But thank God for Papa and his sweet charitable heart. Because he was like, now I need my woman in school, okay? So we got to do something about this. Next, Douda decides to tell Jake that he had a choice when it came to Reg. He said that Reg wasn't following orders, so he either had to turn his back on him or start a war. And y'all know Douda wasn't about to start a war over no loud hothead like Reg, so he let the rivals have him. Then Jake says, so you killed him. And Douda says, I can't save everybody. And Jake was like, so why are you trying to save me? And Douda says, because I see myself in you. So, Jake still wasn't trying to hear that, okay? Even after Douda told Jake that he could be mayor of the city one day, Jake was like, man, you ain't even won yet, Next, back at the hospital, a doctor tells Dre that they will need to watch out for warning signs for suicide when it comes to Keisha. The doctor also gives Dre some helpful brochures. So Dre goes into the room where Nina and Keisha are sleeping, and she gets really emotional, right? And she seems really stressed out. And I honestly wish I could read her mind, because I'm like, girl, what's going on? Now, maybe she doesn't feel like she's built for the road ahead with Keisha's trauma. Maybe she feels like she won't be able to support her wife the way Nina would need her to. Because remember, they're supposed to be in their honeymoon phase. You know what I'm saying? They just got married. So this crisis might be a bit too much too soon for Dre to handle. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is Dre concerned about how she's going to support her wife? Or does she just have a guilty conscience because she was behind Keisha's kidnapping? I don't know. Lastly, Kev goes to visit Ronnie's hospital room and he says thank you. And I'm sure Ronnie felt really good because he was able to keep his promise to Miss Ethel, you know, making her proud. Anyway, I feel like he deserved a hug. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wanted to hug my man Ronnie this episode. I mean, come on. This guy saved your sister. Give him a hug. I know that I may be stressing the hug and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes people just need a hug. Like, you don't understand what a hug can really do to someone or do for someone. Anyway, that's just my opinion. But anyway, that was the episode, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Keisha is home, but she's going to be going through a lot. So continue to enjoy this ride. All right, guys, that was the video. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and be blessed. Bye-bye.